Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudhirayet. Nashthaprayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtike. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So I welcome everyone for this wonderful Snan Yatra program. I am very happy to be amongst all of you this evening. Does the class go up to 6 o'clock? Okay. So recently, we celebrated the appearance of Sri Krishna. And now we are celebrating Snan Yatra. And very soon we are going to celebrate the appearance of Srimati Radharani, which is Radhashtami. So in today's class, for the first few minutes, we're going to speak about a little philosophical aspect about the appearance of the Lord. And then we're going to dwell into the pastimes. Hare Krishna. So for the first 5 minutes, let's speak about the philosophical aspect about the Supreme Lord's appearance. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Janma karma chame divyam evam yo vetti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti so Arjuna. He talks about a difference between the appearance of the Lord and our appearance, our so-called birthday. We are very happy on our birthday. It's a very special day for us. Now let's try analyzing what's so special about it. A living entity who was envious of the Supreme Lord is put into this material world, yes, which is called as Maithunyagara, the prison house where the iron shackles are lusty tendencies. And this living entity is rebellious, as a result of which, through the semen of the father, it's pushed into the womb of the mother, has no idea where it's going, doesn't have the ability to decide who the parents are going to be, which nation, looks, financial stability, instability, knowledge, circumstance, nothing. So the living entity is pushed, doesn't wish to, doesn't want to, but is pushed. Karmana daiva netrena. By the desire of the living entity, by the supervision of the demigods and the sanction of the Supreme Lord. The living entity enters the womb of the mother, which is like a nice, tight bag. It's put there for 9 months. The child The body is developing, and that's the same place where it passes urine, stool, there's blood, as a result of which there are microbes. The microbes bite the body of the child, and as the skin is being made, the mother eats spicy food, eats pungent food, bitter food, salty food. And as we say, rubbing salt on the wound, the whole body is actually having wound. And it's the mother's love in this material world. Can we have this closed so that people will just come from there? So in this situation, the child is weeping, sobbing, crying. And finally, after 9 months of suffering and crying intensely in pain, he comes into this material world. So glorious, and that's birthday. But the Supreme Lord appears differently. The Supreme Lord decides where he has to appear. I would just request if we could have just one door. Yes? Because there's so much of ecstasy outside. The ecstasy inside is subdued. Yes? Thank you so much. The living entity comes in this miserable state, but the Supreme Lord, he takes his own decision. I'm going to appear here. My parents are going to be so and so. Prishni and Sutapa. Krishna appears, Devaki and Vasudeva. I'm going to be in this place. This is how I'm going to look. This is what I'm going to do. This is the time I'm going to disappear. Everything, the proper schedule, the itinerary is ready. Not like us. So therefore, the Supreme Lord's appearance is actually Avirbhav or appearance. While for us, it's birthday. We all have material bodies, right? The body means 4 syllables. B, O, D, and Y. B for birth, O for old age, D for disease, and Y for? Yamaraj. So we all face these 4 things. But the Supreme Lord is completely transcendental. He comes in his own form. And Prabhupada gives the example, the appearance of the Lord is like the sun. The sun is never born. The sun never dies, rises, and sets. The Supreme Lord appears, manifests, and disappears. There's no point where God dies. Yes? So the Supreme Lord, his avirbhav or appearance and his disappearance, both are glorious. Because he is Janmadhyasya Yatonvaya Ditaratash Chartheshu Abhijna Swarat. The first verse of the Bhagavatam says he's Swarat, he's completely independent. So how is that relevant in today's discussion is what the remaining time will unfold. So this was the philosophical aspect. Now, is everybody ready for good story time? Yes? If you're ready, I'm going to hear a loud Haribo. Now, one more. Thank you so much. So the description of Lord Jagannath is given in many Puranas. Narasimha Purana, Narada Purana, Padma Purana, Vishnu Purana. But it's profusely given in the Purushottam Kshetra Mahatmya of the Skanda Purana. Lord Brahma, when he was given this task of creating this material world, he felt, what is the use? This material world is such a precarious place. Everybody is tossed by 7 sufferings. Birth, old age, disease, death. These are the 4 known. Adi Daivik, Adi Bhautik, and Adhyatmik. Adhyatmik means suffering caused by the self. Examples? Anxiety, stress. Yes. Suffering caused by others. Adi Bhautik. Examples? Criticism? Yes. Mosquito bite, yes. Whenever we think we are very great, it just takes a mosquito for the Supreme Lord to prove how great we are. One mosquito and you're in the ICU. That's it. That's how great we are. Yes? That's the second. And the third, Adhyatmik. Adi Daivik. The suffering caused by natural calamity. Examples?
Fire.
Yeah, we are erudite scholars. So these are the 7 sufferings. So Brahmaji, he went to Lord Vishnu and he said, what job have you given me? You tell me to create, of course the secondary creation, and there's so much of suffering. Isn't there a place on earth where the living entity can find happiness? Is there no place on earth where there's no suffering, there's solace, person can be comfortable and can be liberated? Lord Vishnu describes to Brahmaji, north of this is determination. Even if you can't open the kingdom of God, you still try. So Brahmaji, when he was asking, Lord Vishnu said, in a place, in the present day Orissa, there is a place called as Purushottam Kshetra, which is the present day Jagannath Puri. He said, in that place, there is a very beautiful mountain which is as effulgent as blue sapphire. And that's called as Nilachal. On that Nilachal mountain, there is a very beautiful deity of Nilamadhav. The deity of Nilamadhav and Lakshmi. Alright, so continuing the discussion, since we have just around little over 25 minutes, I would just speed up, and I hope everybody is ready for a roller coaster ride. Yeah? Okay. So Lord Brahmaji, he asked Lord Vishnu that, is there a land on earth where you could get liberated, or is the whole place filled with suffering? Lord Vishnu points out to him that there is a place close to the Nilachala mountain, which comes in the area of Purushottam Kshetra, which is the present day Jagannath Puri. And on that hill, there is the very beautiful deity of Nilamadhava, along with Lakshmi. Anyone who takes darshan of this deity and worships this deity with love and devotion, being in that tract of land, will attain me in one life. So Brahma, he was very interesting. I mean, he thought, wow, this seems to be a good proposal. Let me create the whole thing and let me go to that place. So Brahmaji, he created the Visarga, the secondary creation, and he went to that place. And he rushed to that place, and as he reached, he saw a Kalpavriksha tree. On the banks of the Kalpavriksha tree was Rohini Kund. As he was looking at Rohini Kund and trying to go and sip some water, he found an insignificant sinful crow fly in the sky, just tip little to sip some water, and as soon as the crow touched the waters of Rohini Kund, it transformed itself into a four-handed Vishnuduta form and went back home back to Godhead. So when Brahma saw this, he had full proof that, well, this is the place. Seeing this, there was one person who was very disturbed, Yamaraj. He said, you give me the job of punishing people, and an insignificant sinful crow goes back home back to Godhead, touching the waters of Rohini Kund. What's the use of me? Now everybody would just come and dip in Rohini Kund and go back home back to Godhead. What's the use? So Nilamadhava and Lakshmi start speaking to Brahma and Yamaraj. Lakshmi Devi tells Yamaraj, you might be Yamaraj, but that's outside this tract of land. This place is called as Purushottam Kshetra, because this is the eternal abode of Purushottam, Sri Krishna. The Supreme Lord is always Purushottam. When he comes as Ramachandra in Treta Yuga, he is Maryada Purushottam. When he comes as Krishna in Dwapar Yuga, he is Leela Purushottam. And when he comes in Kali Yuga as Mahaprabhu, he is Prema Purushottam. He is always Purushottam. So this tract of land is the eternal residence of the Lord. Therefore, the only rule which works here, the only person who can rule here is the Supreme Lord Nilamadhav, nobody else. So Brahma, Yama, you might be demigods, but outside this tract of land. You don't hold any power here. This place is so powerful that those who just step 1 foot onto this tract of land get the benefit of circumambulating earth 7 times. Those who speak or blabber, not even katha, just blabber in this tract of land, get the benefit of chanting Samaveda. Those who sleep with their back on the floor of this tract of land get the benefit of full, concentrated, meditative samadhi. This is such a beautiful and purifying land. So therefore, you must take shelter of this land. And Lakshmi Devi describes to Brahma and Yamaraj how the great sage Markandeya Muni who had the lifespan of 7 kalpas. He stayed in this tract of land and worshipped Lord Shiva. Therefore, even now when you go to Jagannath Puri, there is a place where Markandeya Rishi actually lived. That pond is called as Markandeya Sarovar. And that linga that Markandeya served is called as Markandeshwar Mahadev. Seeing this, Yamaraj said, well, I'll also follow his footsteps. So he made Yama Sarovar and worshipped Shiva there as Yameshwar Mahadev. When all this was going on, Neelamadhav told Brahmaji, Yamaraj, I have already given you an instruction. But Brahma, the instruction for you is that when you turn 50, what's the lifespan of Brahma? Yes, but the earthly calculation? It's around 311 trillion years. That's all. Not much. So he said, when you complete 50 years, exactly that's around 150 trillion years, earthly years. That's the time when I as Neelamadhava would disappear from earth. And you have to help King Indradyumna. Because I would reappear on earth in a different form. And Maharaj Indradyumna would be very instrumental, so you have to help him. So Brahmaji said, okay, I'm waiting eagerly to turn 50. So then this description unfolds into many, many short instances, which could be narrated, but because of Jagannath's own sweet will, the time is less. So therefore, I will skip that and come to the main point of King Indradyumna's story. King Indradyumna, he ruled in the city of Avanti, which is the northern part of India at the moment. So King Indradyumna felt a lot of vacuum in his heart. He felt that I have everything with me. I have wealth with me. I have good sons with me. I have beautiful wives. I'm powerful. I have servants. I'm the king. I have everything. But there's vacuum. The vacuum is the same vacuum that Brahma felt. What's that vacuum? I can carry all this only up to the time of death. At the time of death, as Krishna says, Mrityu sarva haraschaham. As the all-devouring death, I snatch away everything. So King Indradyumna said, I want to collect something that can last even beyond death. And as the inquisitiveness and the curiosity and the anxiety, the bubble of anticipation was bursting in his heart, there came a very great sage. Bhavat vida bhagavata tirtha bhuta swayam vibho tirthi kurvanti tirthani swantastena gadabrita. The Bhagavatam describes the great souls who have held Krishna in their heart. They travel around the world only to benefit suffering mankind. So a great sage came to the kingdom of Maharaj Indradyumna and he said, why are you so sad? What happened? So King Indradyumna said, I am searching for a tract of land where I can settle down. This is not satisfying me. So the sage told the same history from the Purushottam Kshetra Mahatmya. He said, O king, you should go to Nilachala. You should go near Rohini Kund and you should worship Neelamadhava and Lakshmi. If you do that, I promise you, in this one lifetime, you will get everything. Everything. You will get bhakti, you will get shakti, and you will get mukti. You will get pure devotion, you will get strength, and you will get liberation from suffering. So as soon as King Indradyumna got to know this, he sent his chief minister. Now the chief minister, along with his brother, whose name was Vidyapati, they went for this mission. They cut through all the forests, all the land, climbed mountains, went across sea. They went everywhere. And finally they came to this place near Nilachal. But they were not sure whether this is the same place. So they were lost. They were looking around. There was nobody. Whom do they ask? I don't think GPS works there. So they had a tribe called the Shravaras who were talking amongst themselves, Vidyapati. So went to them and said, I'm searching for Neelamadhava. Can you help me? So the Shravaras said, well, we can help you. But where are you coming from? Vidyapati said, I am from the kingdom of King Indradyumna. Wow, I can take you there. But they were also on the back foot. Why? Because according to their prediction, Neelamadhava would soon disappear and there would be a king who would snatch Neelamadhava away from them. So now they cannot refuse darshan because a jiva is coming on his own. And at the same time, they cannot say, yes, you take him. So the head of the Shravaras, he played safe. So what he did, he told the minister here, he said, I will take you. I think his name was Vishwavasu, said, I will take you. But the condition is you should be blindfolded. You shouldn't see the track through which I'm taking you. After you reach, I will remove the cloth and you can take darshan. So this minister was smart. So he kept on dropping seeds of a certain plant, because he knew the rainy season was coming soon. So he knew that by the time he goes and comes back and gets the king for darshan, that specific plant would have already come up completely. And they can see, oh, there's so many plants of the same species, let's go, this is the place. So he went in front of Nila Madhava, he took darshan, came back to the kingdom and told Maharaj Indradyumna, let's go. I know the place. I saw Nila Madhava and he's beautiful. Now the king was so happy. Along with all his entourage, he left the kingdom of Avanti. And as he was leaving, the great sage Narada appears. Now Narada is a very interesting personality. Whoever intercepts or whomever Narada intercepts, accidentally or on purpose, that person gets Krishna, for sure. That's Narada's blessing. He intercepted Dhruva, Dhruva got Krishna. He blessed Prahlad, he got Krishna. Valmiki, he got Krishna. Mrigari, he got Krishna. So now he intercepted Maharaj Indradyumna. So Indradyumna Maharaj said, this is a good sign. I'm going to get Krishna soon. And Narada Muni gave a lot of katha and instructed him on how to worship Nila Madhava. Indradyumna Maharaj continued on his path. But then as he entered the kingdom of Utkal, the king came out to welcome him, and Indradyumna Maharaj asked him, is everything okay? Is everything peaceful? And the king at Utkal, he said, everything is peaceful, but I have a terrible news for you. The news is that there was a cyclone and Nila Madhava disappeared. But everything else is fine. Now, King Indradyumna was devastated. He fell on the lap of Narada Muni. Narada Muni said, no problem. He fanned him and he said, if you have sincere desire in your heart, you will see Krishna. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santa sadaiva hridayeshu vilokayanti yam shama sundaram achintya gunaswarupam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. If you have the eyes anointed with the mascara of pure love, you will see Krishna. Don't worry. Hiranyakashipu didn't see Narsingha even when he appeared. He thought this is a mere mortal. But Prahlad saw Narsingha inside a pillar. Yes? So when you have eyes of pure love, you can see Krishna. So Narada told Maharaj Indradyumna, you don't worry. I will take you. You have faith. So as and when they went on proceeding ahead, they left the kingdom of Utkal, entered the city of Bhubaneswar. Now Bhubaneswar we know is in Orissa. And Narada Muni told King Indradyumna the history of Bhubaneswar. The history of Bhubaneswar is as follows. Lord Shiva married Parvati, or Sati as you call her, and her father just didn't like Shiva. Is it common? Is it common in this material world? Parampara. So he said, you're such a beautiful princess, and look at him. He doesn't have a house of his own. He puts ashes of dead men on his body. He wears garlands of skull. He wears deer and tiger skin around, dances naked in Tandava sometimes. And his friends are all ghosts. Shiva is an exalted personality. He doesn't care for anything material. So it's very difficult to understand him. So he said, you don't be with him. Shiva said, this is what he said? Now I'll show him who I am. And out of his mystic power, he created the city of Kashi. But Mother Parvati said, this is a beautiful city, but this doesn't satisfy me. Let's go back to Kailash. So in the city of Kashi, he put a king to rule, and he became Kashiraj. Now this Kashiraj had a friend called as Paundraka. This Paundraka was an imitator of Krishna. He put the peacock feather like Krishna. He put the flute like Krishna. He put all the ornaments like Krishna. And in fact, he wrote a letter to Krishna in Dwaraka that you're holding the Sudarshan Chakra like me. I'm the original. You're the fake. Krishna laughed. And he sent a Sudarshan Chakra. He was gone. Paundraka was killed. And because this Kashiraj took his side, he was also killed. And all the supporters, they were also killed. Now Kashirat's son, Sudakshina, he was furious. He said, I'm going to teach this Krishna a lesson. He prayed to Shiva. He said, this Kashi is your land. I want your support against Krishna. Now Lord Shiva was moved by the emotion of his devotee. He said, okay, I will support you. Along with Lord Shiva's army, Sudakshina attacked Dwaraka. What happened? He was defeated. Sudarshan Chakra started running behind Shiva. Shiva ran to Krishna. He said, why are you doing this to me? Krishna looked at Shiva. He said, why are you doing this to me? He said, Vaishnavanam yatha Shambhu, I thought you're my greatest devotee. There's nobody in the three worlds who hates me as you do. You took sides with my enemy. Lord Shiva said, I'm sorry, my Lord. I don't know why I did that, but I'm sorry. But you give me a menial service so that I become humble. So Krishna told him, wherever there is the dham where I reside, you have to stand out as the Dwarpal, the doorkeeper. And that continues. In Vrindavan, Lord Shiva is present as Gopishwar Mahadev. At Govardhan, he is present as Chakaleshwar Mahadev. In Nandagram, he is present as Icheshwar Mahadev, Aseshwar Mahadev, Vankhandeshwar Mahadev, Areshwar Mahadev, Gokulanandeshwar Mahadev. He's there all over the place. And similarly, before entering the beautiful place of Purushottam Kshetra or Jagannath Puri, he is guarding as Bhubaneshwar Mahadev. And O King Indradyumna, this is the history of this place. And as he was describing, Lord Shiva came. He said, wow, this description is wonderful. King Indradyumna, don't worry. I will teach you. I will tell you the path how you can reach Nila Madhava. What's the path? As you enter this place of Purushottam Kshetra, there's going to be a very beautiful deity of Nrsimhadev. Build a temple for Nrsimhadev, perform 1008 yajnas, and you will reach your goal. So Indradyumna Maharaj went to Purushottam Kshetra. He built a very beautiful Nrsimha temple, did 1008 yajnas under the supervision of Narada Muni. And at the end of all that, in his dream, he saw Vishnu at Shvetadvip, sleeping on the ocean of milk, smiling at Maharaj Indradyumna. Maharaj Indradyumna asked Narada Muni, what does that mean? What does this dream mean? He just smiled at me. Narada Muni said, you have almost reached your goal, O king. Vishnu smiled at you because he is agreeing to appear very soon through your power potency. And as they were discussing that, on the waters of the ocean, there was unbelievable, inconceivable fragrance. There was a great aroma spread everywhere. And they saw a big log of wood floating on the surface of water. Everybody ran there. What is this? King Indradyumna's anxiety increased. He said, what is this? And where's the fragrance coming from? And he looked closely. And that log of wood had Shankha, Chakra, Gada and Padma. The imprint of a conch shell, a club, this chakra, and the lotus flower. Narad Muni smiled and he said, that Lord who appears as Giriraj Govardhan in the form of rock, who appears in the form of sound as his holy name, who appears in the form of water as Shamakund, has now appeared in the form of wood. Therefore, he is called as Daru Brahman. Daru means wood, and Brahman means the Supreme Lord. And this day, when the Supreme Lord Nila Madhava appeared in the form of wood, floating on the surface of this ocean body, where everybody welcomed him, and he took his first ever bath, is today the Snan Yatra. And then he took the log of wood. Vishwakarma, the architect of heaven, he came in the form of an old man. He said, I am ready to carve whatever you want me to do. So he said, Narada Muni, you have to guide. What should he carve? Narada Muni told him, you do like this. He said, I will do this. But the condition is, you shouldn't interfere, O king. Is this complete? Is this not complete? In fact, you shouldn't even hear the chiseling sound. If you come and break, or if you hear the chiseling sound, I'm going to stop right away. Give me 15 days. So King Indradyumna said, wow, yes, no problem. 15 days, no problem. But Vishwakarma, he was working in an inconceivable manner. No sound, no sight, nothing. Doors closed, windows closed. God knows what's happening inside. After 15, 16, 17 days, Maharaj Indradyumna became so restless, he broke the doors and he went inside and there was nobody. There were these 3 unique deities made out of wood, but never seen before. How do you understand them? He looked at Narada Muni and he said, what is this? Did I become too restless? What are these deities? They have no hands. They have no legs. The hands are inwards. Subhadra doesn't even have hands. The eyes are dilated. There are no ears. What's this? What type of Lord is this? And he asked Narada Muni, what did I do? I made a mistake. I shouldn't have done this. He told me not to interfere, but I did. Narada Muni said, can I tell you something, O king? These 3 deities are the most beautiful, wonderful, compassionate, merciful, and perfectly completed deities. Maharaj Indradyumna said, can you explain? I don't understand how this is. So Narada Muni said, I'll tell you a story. Now he tells him how when Krishna and Balaram were in Dwaraka, Krishna was so restless. He was missing Vrindavan. The pangs of separation were intolerable. The queens in Dwaraka said, he's there with us only in his body, but the mind and heart, they are in Vrindavan. All day long we are serving him and he cries, Radhe, Radhe, Gopi, Gopi. What is this? We cannot understand. We are so opulent. We serve Krishna so nicely. And they are like village girls and boys. Why does Krishna miss them? What is this mystery? And the only person who could answer this was the mother of Balaram, Rohini Maya. So Mother Rohini was requested, can you speak something about this? Mother Rohini said, I will speak. But the condition is, you have to ensure that Krishna and Balaram don't listen to this. Because I promise you, if Krishna and Balaram listen to this narration of the pangs of separation of the Brajavasis, for sure they will leave you. They will leave Dwaraka and run back to Vrindavan. And if you don't want that to happen, ensure that they don't listen to this. So the queen said, oh, this is simple. We'll just send Subhadra outside. Subhadra, you stand outside. And she stood like this. Hands on the door. You ensure that Krishna and Balaram don't come. You stop them. Okay? Subhadra said, okay, it's simple. But it wasn't so simple. Because as Mother Yashoda, as Mother Rohini started speaking about the pangs of separation of the Brajavasis, it was inconceivable. Mother Rohini started describing how after Krishna and Balaram left, everyone, every evening, anticipated their return. They looked outside the window in the street which head to Mathura and said, today Krishna will come. Isn't it? Today Krishna will come. Their bodies melted. The birds and animals died. The trees didn't find any reason to exist. Yamuna dried up. The breeze didn't flow in Vrindavan. He who is actually the life in Vrindavan left. How can the Brajavasis take this? So as Mother Rohini was describing all this, Subhadra, whose hands were in, but ears were completely listening to the katha, she became oblivious to what's happening around. And she didn't even know that Krishna and Balaram were actually right next to her. They were listening as attentively as Mother Subhadra was listening. And as Mother Rohini started describing the love of Mother Yashoda and Srimati Radharani, Krishna and Balaram's eyes dilated in happiness. How is it possible for somebody to love so inconceivably? Unconditional, unmotivated, uninterrupted, and selfless. Ahaituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. This is love. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam vam jagadisha kamaye, mama janmani, janmani ishware, bhavatad bhaktira haituki tvai. Nothing else I want, my Lord. I just want to love you. The eyes of Subhadra, Baladev, and Krishna dilated. The hands went inside. The legs went inside the body. For Balaram and Krishna, it went inside. For Subhadra, who had her hands on the door, just went inside the body, like Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri, where he's called as Kurma Chaitanya. His hands and legs went inside and he became the size of a tortoise. And when they were in this form of ecstasy, missing Vrindavan with tears in their eyes. Narada Muni actually saw this. And he said, I have seen this, I have seen this, I have seen this. Krishna immediately came to his original form. He said, what have you seen? He said, I saw how you look when you miss Srimati Radharani. When Radharani's mood condenses in extreme prema and she misses Krishna, that is Sri Gauranga. But when Krishna misses Srimati Radharani, that is Jagannath. Therefore, in Jagannath Puri, it is inconceivable. Because Krishna missing Radharani as Jagannath and Radharani missing Krishna as Mahaprabhu are face to face. And Prabhupada writes, fortunately, Mahaprabhu ran towards Jagannath and he used to faint. Fortunately. Can you imagine Mahaprabhu embracing Jagannath? That's explosion. So then Krishna, he told Narada Muni, what's the price for you to keep mum? Narada Muni said, the price is whatever I have seen, the whole world should see. And therefore he told Maharaj Indradyumna, that promise is fulfilled today. What I saw, O king, is what you're seeing. This Jagannath is the Lord of the universe. He is Krishna when he misses Vrindavan. This Jagannath, Baldev and Subhadra are the expressions of extreme ecstasy. Therefore you must take care of them. Then Maharaj Indradyumna very joyfully built a beautiful temple with the help of Brahma. The first arati was performed. And then from then on, not just in Jagannath Puri, Jagannath entered the hearts of one and all. All the acharyas went to this beautiful place of Jagannath Puri. Shankaracharya, Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya, Narahari Tirtha, Padmanabha, and coming to our dear Srila Prabhupada. Our Prabhupada, when he was a small child, as 5 years old, he helped all his friends in pulling Jagannath Rath Yatra. He describes how he used to look at the time and the timetable of all the trains which went from Howrah station to Puri. And it is Srila Prabhupada's sheer, inconceivable, magnanimous mercy that Jagannath who gives mercy only in Jagannath Puri is giving mercy here in Boston. Srila Prabhupada, he went to Puri, caught hold of Jagannath and he said, you are the Lord of the universe. Let me take you for a world tour. And he came here. Now in every major city of the world, Jagannath enjoys his Rath Yatra. So therefore now we are celebrating Prabhupada's arrival. We are celebrating Prabhupada's arrival here in the US. So it's so significant. Prabhupada gave everything. The Nam Sankirtan that Mahaprabhu gave in Bengal, Prabhupada gave to the world. That deity which Vishwakarma and Indradyumna Maharaj put up in Puri, Prabhupada gave to the world. And the ability and the philosophy and the backing that we can understand this, that fortune also Prabhupada created. So to Srila Prabhupada, we are eternally indebted as much as we are to Jagannath, Baldev and Subhadra. So on this day, I really thank everyone for being here. I'm really sorry we had to cut down because time was not on my side. But I really thank everyone for giving me this opportunity of serving all of you today and so patiently and attentively listening to this wonderful narration. Last but not the least, it is said anybody who hears this whole narration of Jagannath's appearance becomes very dear to Jagannath and in this one life goes back home, back to Godhead. Jagannatha Swami ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Go